Ryan Garcia says Devin Haney beats Jaron Boots Ennis. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I am back with some more boxing. Very interesting stuff from none other than Ryan Garcia, who has faced Devin Haney. He put out a recent tweet. He says, quote, "You guys would be surprised, but Devin," meaning Devin Haney, "would actually beat Boots, Jaron Boots Ennis," end quote. Listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion, I guess, but this sounds crazy. At this point, I feel the Jaron Boots Ennis hate needs to be studied, right? Now, I'm all for making critiques, criticisms, if warranted, right? Talk about the fight. You know, I do that. That's really what I do. You know what I mean? There's nobody above the law. I give everybody a fair shake. I talked about the good with Jaron Ennis' last performance versus Xander Zayas. I also talked about what could be improved upon. In my opinion, that round 3, there was some work that could have been done there for Boots, because Boots, he likes to firefight, and, you know, it could cost him if he just goes in there guns blazing with any old person. Yes, Boots has tremendous talent, skills, explosive, speed, power, but when God made you, he didn't make only you. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, there's also people who possess more power than you, more speed than you, elite level timing, or whatever their strengths are. So you always got to be cautious. So again, I have no problem giving constructive criticism, which is what I do. But a lot of people, they just seem to hate on Boots. It's crazy. Like, oh, his beard's too long. Your beard's weird. Your beard, man, it's your beard. Like, I mean, how many guys have we seen with the long beard? In fact, Abdullah Mason's about to fight Albert Bell as a late replacement to Cordina, and that's going down in Cleveland. That man beard way longer than Jaron Boots Ennis' beard before the Xander Zayas fight. But because Zayas' team chose to try to make that an issue, some of the haters ran with that. Now you got Ryan Garcia said, you guys would be surprised Devin Haney would beat Boots. Do I believe that myself? Absolutely not. I think, first of all, Boots wouldn't go backwards. So, I mean that more than one way. He wouldn't go backwards, meaning he wouldn't go back down in weight to fight 147, which would maybe a weight drain Boots. Like if he struggled to make weight, that would be, for me, Devin Haney's opportunity to possibly beat him. But we know that's not going to happen. He's filled out at 154. He's not going to go backwards. Also, since it's pretty much a double entendre, I don't think in the fight, if they were to fight, that Devin has enough firepower, right, where Boots would respect it. I think Xander Zayas is also big, just as big as Devin Haney, if not maybe even a little bit bigger. His head looked huge. His back looked huge. He just looked big, right? Pause. And you never really seen Boots take a backward step versus him. So somebody who is coming up in weight, moving from 47 to 54 with historically less power and hasn't had a knockout since 2019, I don't know how he beats him. Because to be honest, I don't see him stopping him. He didn't stop Brian Norman. And most people, after watching Devin Haney with Brian Norman, a lot of people said that Boots would have destroyed Brian Norman, right? So they believe, that shows me they believe Boots is a superior fighter to Brian Norman. So if Devin Haney did real good in the fight early, in round 2, dropped him, hurt him, and then can't finish that job, what makes you believe that a more skillful Jaron Boots Ennis at a higher weight would get stopped? Which means that Devin Haney's only opportunity to beat Jaron Ennis would be to outbox him. But we haven't seen anybody outbox him. And I understand, you know, people can lose and doesn't mean you're going to be undefeated forever. But I don't personally see it, right? Now, I also, since I started this channel, I've told you I don't like to specialize in a bunch of fantasy fights, particularly, like, I'm not even mad at like retired fighters and like, oh, Mike Tyson versus David Tua, who would have won? Ike versus Tyson. You know what I mean? I'm not talking about that more or less than active fighters, because retired fighters, that's all you can do. You know, when people are no longer in the game, you can only have fantasy fights. But it's completely ridiculous to have the fantasy fight argument for active fighters when they actually can fight. So I'm not gonna argue with nobody. I don't really care. If you think Devin beats Boots, good on you. Show me, make the fight. But I don't make the time to waste my time arguing on some fantasy fight that can happen with active fighters. If you believe Devin wins and I'm wrong or whatever, push for the fight, make the fight. But right now, boxing looks corny. You got Devin linked to Keyshawn, Shakur, Boots, and Tank Davis, all these names, but none of the guys have fought. No announcement. Shakur's supposed to be going to Zuffa. Devin Haney's supposed to have $100 million deal or whatever, and we have no updates. So this, just add this to that list where Ryan Garcia is like, hey, you'll be surprised. I'll be surprised if one of y'all actually fight. Where's the Conor Ben fight? De La Hoya is making it sound like he didn't sign off for Ryan to fight him. So boxing looked trash.